Welcome back to our 7th standard biology class, my dear students. In the previous class, we completed book back exercise in chapter 12, reproduction in plants. Today in this session, we are going to learn about answer the following questions in chapter 12. Dear students, take your biology note and write down the answer the following questions in chapter 12. First, you write down the heading. Chapter 12, reproduction in plants. Next, you write down answer the following. Question number 2, describe the different methods of asexual reproduction. Give examples. Answer, solution and answer both are same. You write down answer. Different methods of asexual reproduction are as follows. Vegetative propagation. First, you write down the side heading, vegetative propagation. In this asexual reproduction, new plants are produced from roots, stems, leaves and buds of the individual plant. Examples, tuber of potato, the rhizome of ginger. Next, you write down the side heading, budding. The bud is a small projection which gradually grows and gets detached from the parent cell and forms a new yeast cell. The new yeast cell grows, matures and produces more yeast cells. Example, yeast. Next, fragmentation. In this mode of reproduction, the growth and multiplication are done by rapidly breaking down into two or more fragments. Each fragment grows into new individuals when water and nutrients are available. Example, algae. Next, write down the side heading, spore formation. This reproduction is done by spores, which under favorable conditions germinates and develops into a new individual. Examples, fungi like Rhizobus, mucor, etc. Next, you write down the side heading, fission. It is a type of asexual reproduction when the unicellular organism splits to form new organisms. There are two types of fission which are binary fission, multiple fission. Examples, unicellular organisms that undergo binary fission are amoeba, paramecium, leishmania, etc. Plasmodium undergoes the process of multiple fission. Next, you write down the third question. Explain what you understand by sexual reproduction. Answer, sexual reproduction is a method where male and female gametes fuse to form a new individual. In plants, stamens and pistils are male and female reproductive organs which bear the anthers and ovary respectively. Next, fourth question. State the main difference between asexual and sexual reproduction. Answer, first you divide the two column and write down the answer. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. First point, in asexual reproduction, it requires only one parent. In sexual reproduction, requires a male and female parent. Next, you write down the second point. Daughter cells formed are identical to parents and to each other. Newly formed offsprings show variations in comparison to the parent. Third point, write down Special reproductive organs are not required. Example, yeast, rose, jasmine. Special reproductive organs are required. Example, insects, animals. You write down the fifth question in the right side. Sketch the reproductive parts of a flower. You draw and label the diagram in the left side of your biology note. Next, you write down the sixth question. Explain the differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Answer, self-pollination. In first point, in self-pollination, pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. In cross-pollination, pollen grains are transferred from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of the same kind. Next, you write down the second point. Self-pollination occurs only in bisexual flowers. Next, it occurs in both unisexual and bisexual flowers. Next, you write down the seventh question. How does the process of fertilization take place in flowers? Answer, the process of fusion of male and female gametes is called fertilization. The zygote develops into an embryo. An embryo undergoes mitotic cell division to form seeds. Next, you write down the eighth question. Describe the various ways by which seeds are dispersed. Answer, seeds and fruits of plants are carried away by wind, water, and animals. Winged seeds such as those of drumstick and maple, light seeds of grasses or hairy seeds of ack, madar, and hairy fruits of sunflower get blown off with the wind to faraway places. Some seeds are dispersed by water. These fruits or seeds usually develop floating ability in the form of spongy or biferous. Write down the eighth question continuation. Outer coat as in coconut. Some seeds are dispersed by animals, especially spiny seeds with hooks which get attached to the bodies of animals and are carried to distant places. Examples are xanthium and urina. Some seeds are dispersed when the fruits burst with sudden jerks. The seeds are scattered far from the parent plant. This happens in the case of castor and balsam. Dear students, today in this session we completed all question answers in chapter 12. Write down the homework, study book bag exercise and answer the following questions in chapter 12. Thank you, dears.